remedy this situation. We have decided to embark upon a massive mission to provide an LPG connection in the name of women members of poor households. I have set aside a sum of rupees 2,000 crore in this year's budget to meet the initial cost of providing these LPG connections. This would benefit about 1 crore 50 lakh households below the poverty line in the year 2016-17. The scheme will continue for at least 2 more years to cover a total of 5 crore BPS households. This will ensure universal coverage of cooking gas in the country. This measure will empower women and protect their health. It will reduce drudgery and time spent on cooking. It will also provide employment for rural youth in the supply chain of cooking gas. I want to take this opportunity to express our gratitude and appreciation of 75 lakh middle class and lower middle class households who have voluntarily given up their cooking gas subsidy in response to a call given by the Prime Minister. Their gesture is a matter of pride for the country. Catastrophic health events are the single most important cause of unforeseen out-of-pocket expenditure, which pushes lakhs of households below the poverty line every year. Serious illness of family members causes severe stress on financial circumstances of poor and economic weaker families, shaking the foundations of economic security. In order to help such families, the government will launch a new health protection scheme which will provide health cover up to rupees 1 lakh per family. For senior citizens of the age of 60 and above belonging to this category, an additional top-up package of rupees 30,000 will be provided. Quality medicines, making quality medicines available at an affordable price has been a key challenge. This will reinvigorate the supply of generic drugs. 3,000 stores under the Prime Minister Jan Aushadhi Yojana will be opened during 2016-17. Almost 2.2 lakh new patients of end-stage renal diseases get added in India every year, resulting in an additional demand for 3.4 crore dialysis sessions. With approximately 4,950 dialysis centers in India, largely in the private sector, concentrated in major towns, the demand is only half met. Each dialysis session costs around rupees 2,000, an annual expenditure of more than rupees 3 lakhs. Besides, most families have to undertake frequent trips for long distance to access dialysis services, incurring heavy travel costs and low wages. To address this situation, I propose to start a national dialysis service program. Funds will be made available through a PPP mode under the National Health Mission to provide dialysis service in all district hospitals. To reduce cost, I propose to exempt certain parts of dialysis equipment from basic customs duty, excise CVD and SAD. Scheduled caste and scheduled tribe entrepreneurs are beginning to show great promise in starting and running of successful businesses. The Prime Minister had given a call for promoting entrepreneurship amongst the SC/ST to become job providers rather than job seekers. I am happy to inform you that the Union Cabinet has approved the Stand Up India scheme to promote entrepreneurship amongst SC/ST and women. 500 crores has been provided for this purpose. The scheme will facilitate at least 2 such projects per bank branch, 1 in each category of entrepreneur. This will benefit at least 2.5 lakh entrepreneurs in this category. We are celebrating the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. This must become the year of the economic empowerment for SC/ST entrepreneurs. We have extensively interacted with Dalit India Chamber of Commerce and Industry on building an entrepreneurship ecosystem. It is proposed to constitute a national scheduled caste and scheduled tribe hub in the MSME ministry in partnership with industry associations. This hub will provide a professional support to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe entrepreneurs to fulfill the obligations under the central government procurement policy, adopting best practices and leverage the stand-up initiative. The scheme for welfare and skill development of minorities, such as multi-sectoral development program and Ustad, shall be implemented effectively. Education, skills and job creation. I would now like to highlight the steps proposed to be undertaken under the education, skill development and job creation, which is the fourth pillar of my budget proposals. After universalization of primary education through the country, we want to take the next big step forward by focusing on quality education. An increasing share of allocation under the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan will be allocated. Further, 62 new Navodaya Vidyalayas will be opened in the remaining uncovered districts over the next 2 years. It is our commitment to empower higher educational institutions to help them to become world-class teaching and research institutions. An enabling regulatory architecture will be provided to 10 public and 10 private institutions to emerge as world-class teaching and research institutions. This will enhance affordable access to quality education for ordinary Indians. A detailed scheme will be formulated. We have decided to set up a higher education financing agency with an initial capital base of rupees 1,000 crores. The HEFA will be a not-for-profit organization that will leverage funds for the market and supplement them with donations and CSR funds. These funds will be used to finance improvements in infrastructure in our top institutions and will be serviced through internal accruals. To help students, higher educational institutions and employees to access degree certificates of candidates, it is proposed to establish a digital depository for school leaving certificates, college degrees, academic awards and mark sheets on the Passion of Securities Depository. This will help to validate their authenticity, safe storage and easy retrieval. Skill development. Skill India mission seeks to capitalize our demographic advantages. Since its launch, the National Skill Development Mission has created an elaborate skilling ecosystem and imparted training of 76 lakh youth. We want to bring entrepreneurship at the doorstep of youth through the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. We have decided to set up 1,500 multi-skill training institutes across the country. I am setting aside an amount of rupees 1,700 crores for this initiative. We have decided to set up a national board for skill development certificate in partnership with industry and academia. We propose to further scale up the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana to skill 1 crore youth over the next 3 years. Entrepreneurship, education and training will be provided in 2,200 colleges, 300 schools, 500 government and ITIs, and 50 vocational training centers through a massive open online courses. Aspiring entrepreneurs, particularly from those remote parts of the country, will become connected to mentors and credit markers. Job creation. In order to incentivize creation of new jobs in the formal sector, the government will pay the Employees Pension Fund contribution of 8.33% for all new employees enrolling in EPFO for the first 3 years of their employment. This will incentivize employers to recruit unemployed persons and also bring them into the books, the informal employees. In order to channelize this intervention towards target groups of semi-skilled and unskilled workers, the scheme will be applicable to those with salary up to rupees 15,000 per month. I have made a budget provision of rupees 1,000 crore in this scheme. Further, Finance Bill 2016 proposes to broaden and liberalize the scope of employment generation incentives available under Section 80JJAA of the Income Tax Act. The deduction will be available not only to assessees deriving income from manufacturing of goods in a factory, but all assessees who are subject to statutory audit under this Act. Thus, a deduction of 30% of the emoluments paid to such employees can be claimed for 3 years. The minimum number of days for which they should be employed during the year is proposed to be reduced from 300 to 240. No deduction, however, will be admissible in respect of employees whose monthly emoluments exceed rupees 25,000. Also, no deduction will be admissible in respect of employees for whom the government is paying the entire EPS contribution. A national career service was launched in July 2015. Already 35 million job seekers have registered on this platform. We propose to make 100 model career centers operational by the end of 2016-17. We also propose to interlink state employment exchanges with national career service platform. Retail trade is the largest service sector employer in the country. Many more jobs are created in this sector provided the regulations are simplified. If shopping malls are kept open all 7 days of the week, why not small and medium shops? These shops should be given a choice to remain open on all 7 days of the week on voluntary basis. The interest of workers in terms of mandatory weekly holiday, number of working hours per day, of course, has to be protected. We propose to circulate a model shops and establishment bill which can be adopted by the state governments on a voluntary basis. 5. Infrastructure and investment. The fifth strong support pillar of this budget is to transform India is infrastructure and investment. In the road sector, there were more than 70 projects that were languishing at the beginning of the year due to legacy factors. Aggregate length of these projects was about 8,300 kilometers, involving 1 lakh crore investment. With exemplary and proactive intervention under the leadership of my colleague Shri Gadkari, nearly 85% of these projects have been put back on track. India's highest ever kilometers of new highways were awarded in 2015. At the same time, India's highest ever production of motor vehicles was achieved in 2015. This is a sign of growth of the economy, but it presents a challenge also. Therefore, we have speeded up the process of road construction. I have proposed to allocate a sum of rupees 55,000 crores in the budget for roads and highways. This will be further topped up by an additional 15,000 to be raised by the NHAI through bonds. Thus, the total investment in the road sector, including the Rural Gram Sadak Yojana allocation, would be rupees 97,000 crores during 2016-17. Together with the capital expenditure on railways, which Shri Suresh Prabhu has announced a few days ago, the total outlay on roads and rail in 2016-17 will be a mammoth 2,18,000 crores. We further expect to approve nearly 10,000 kilometers of national highways in 2016-17. This will be much higher than the 2 previous years. The pace of completion of road projects will also rise to 10,000 kilometers in 2016-17. In addition, nearly 50,000 kilometers of state highway will also be taken up for upgradation as national highway. The total outlay for infrastructure in the budget estimates of 2016-17 now stands at rupees 2,21,246 crores. Madam, this is an important announcement. Passenger traffic on our roads has been made more efficient for the benefit of the common man. and the middle class. This is a totally unreformed sector which suffers from several impediments. Abolition of permit Raj will be our medium-term goal. Government will enact necessary amendments in the Motor Vehicles Act and open up the road transport sector in the passenger segment. An enabling ecosystem which will provide for the which will be provided for the states, which will have a choice of adopting the new legal framework. Entrepreneurs will be able to operate buses on various routes, subject to efficiency and safety norms. The major benefit of this game-changing initiative will be the provision for a more efficient public transport facilities, greater public convenience, new investments in moribund sectors, creation of new jobs for our youth, growth of startup entrepreneurs, and other multiplier effects. These measures will take us faster down the road to development. In 2015, India's major ports have handled the highest ever quality of cargo. We have also added the highest ever capacity in major ports. We have started a series of measures for modernizing ports and increasing their efficacy. The Sagarmala project has already been rolled out. We are planning to develop new greenfield ports both in the eastern and western coasts of India. The work of the national waterways is already being expedited. Rupees 800 crores has been provided for this initiative. In civil aviation sector, the government is drawing up an action plan for revival of unserved and underserved airports. There are 160 airports and airstrips with state governments which can be revived at an indicative cost of rupees 50 to 100 crores each. We will partner with the state governments to develop some of these airports for regional connectivity. Similarly, 10 out of the 25 non-functional airstrips with the Airport Authority of India will also be developed. Another major announcement. India is blessed with rich natural resources, including oil and gas. However, their discovery and exploitation has been below our potential. Imports of hydrocarbons occupy a larger share of India's imports. There is a situation of rising demand, near stagnation in production, and consequent rapid increase in imports. As a part of our drive towards self-sufficiency, the government is considering to incentivize gas production from deep sea, ultra-deep water, and high-pressure, high-temperature areas which are presently not exploited on account of higher costs and higher risk. A proposal is under consideration for new discoveries and areas which are yet to commence production. First, to provide calibrated market freedom, and second, to do so at a predetermined ceiling price to be discovered on the principle of landed price of alternate fuels. This will bring considerable amount investment in this segment. In the other segment of infrastructure, our government has achieved the highest coal production growth in over 2 decades, highest ever capacity in addition in generation, highest ever increase in transmission lines and in distribution of LED bulbs. In the power sector, we need to diversify the resources of power generation for long-term stability. The government is drawing up a comprehensive plan spanning over 15 to 20 years to augment investment in nuclear power generation. Budgetary allocation up to rupees 3,000 crore per annum, together with public sector investment, will be leveraged to facilitate the required investment for this purpose. To augment infrastructure spending further, government will permit mobilization of additional finances up to rupees 31,300 300 by the NHAI, PFC, REC, ERIDA, NABARD and Inland Water Authority through raising of bonds during 16-17. Our private sector plays a very important role in developing infrastructure, as many of which are implemented in the public-private partnership. I would like to announce 3 initiatives to reinvigorate this sector and resolve future and pending issues. 1. A public utility resolution of disputes bill will be introduced during 2016-17 to streamline an institutional arrangement for resolution of disputes in infrastructure relating to construction contracts, PPP and public utility contracts. 2. Guidelines for renegotiation of PPP concession agreements will be issued, keeping in view the long-term nature of such contracts and the potential uncertainties of the real economy without compromising transparency. 3. A new credit rating system for infrastructure which gives emphasis to various inbuilt credit enhancement structures will be developed instead of relying on standard perception risks which often result in mispriced loans. These, Madam, I hope, will expedite the commencement of some of the stalled projects. I would like to announce further reforms in our FDI policy. The changes proposed are in the area of insurance and pension, asset reconstruction companies, stock exchanges, etc. Details of these changes are given in an annexure to the budget speech. The duty drawback scheme has been widened and deepened to include more products and countries. The government will continue to take measures to support the export sector. Our FDI policy has also to address the requirements of the farmers and our food processing industry. A lot of fruits and vegetables grown by our farmers either do not fetch the right price or fail to reach the market. Food processing industry and trade should be more efficient. 100% FDI will be allowed through FIPB route in the marketing of food products produced and manufactured in India. I think this will give an impetus to the food processing ministry to enhance this sector. This will benefit the farmers, give impetus to the food processing industry and create vast employment opportunities. A new policy of management of government investment in public sector enterprises, including disinvestment and strategic sale, has been approved. We have to leverage the assets of the CPSEs for generation of resources for investment in new projects. We will encourage CPSEs to divest individual assets like land, manufacturing unit to release their asset value for making investments in new projects. The Niti Aayog will identify the CPSEs for this strategic sale. We will adopt a comprehensive approach for efficient management of the government investment in CPSEs by addressing issues such as capital restructuring, dividend bonus shares, etc. The Department of Disinvestment is being renamed the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, the DIPAM. Financial sector reforms. A vibrant financial sector is of critical importance to the growth of every economy. In my last 2 budgets, I had announced several measures in this regard. I would now like to announce the following initiatives. A systematic vacuum exists with regard to the bankruptcy situation in financial firms. A comprehensive code on resolution of financial firms will be introduced as a bill in Parliament in 2016-17. This code will provide a specialized resolution mechanism to deal with bankruptcy situations in banks, insurance companies and financial sector entities. The code, together with the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2015, when enacted, will provide a comprehensive resolution mechanism for our economy. The RBI Act 1934 is being amended to provide a statutory basis for the monetary policy framework and a policy committee through the Finance Bill 2016. The committee-based approach will add a lot of value and transparency to the monetary policy decisions. A financial data management center under the aegis of Financial Stability Development Council will be set up to facilitate integrated data aggregation and analysis in the financial sector. To improve greater retail participation in government securities, RBI will facilitate their participation in the primary and secondary markets through stock exchanges and access to NDS-OM trading platforms. New derivative products will be developed by SEBI in the commodity derivatives market. To facilitate deepening of the corporate bond market, a number of measures will be undertaken, details of which are given in Annexure 2 to the budget speech. An enactment of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code will provide a major boost to the development of the corporate bond market. To tackle the problem of stress assets in the banking sector, asset reconstruction companies have a very important role. I therefore propose to make necessary amendments in the Sarfasi Act to enable the sponsorer of an ARC to hold up 100% stake in the ARC and permit non-institutional investors to invest in the securitization receipts. In the recent past, there have been instances of people in various parts of the country being defrauded by illicit deposit-taking schemes. The worst victims of these schemes are poor and the financially illiterate. The operation of such schemes are often spread across many states. I therefore propose to bring a comprehensive central legislation in 2016-17 to deal with the menace of such schemes. I propose to amend the SEBI Act 1992 in the coming year to provide for more number of benches of the Security Appellate Tribunal. As honourable members are well aware, the strength of the financial sector is dependent on a strong and well-functioning banking system. We have already a comprehensive plan for revamping the public sector banks, Indradhanush, which is under implementation. We are now confronted with a problem of stress assets in public sector banks, which is a legacy of the past. Several steps have already been taken in this regard. We are not interfering in the lending and personal matters of the bank. Structural issues have been addressed in various sectors like power, coal, highways, sugar and steel. The banks are putting in special effort to effect recoveries and focus on reviving stalled projects. To support the banks in this effort, as well as to support credit growth, I have proposed an allocation of rupees 25,000 crores in the budget estimate of 16-17 towards recapitalization of the public sector banks. If additional capital is required by these banks, we will find resources for doing so. We stand solidly behind these banks. Our public sector banks will be strong and competitive. The Banking Board Bureau will be operationalized during 2016-17 and a road for consolidation of public sector banks will be spelled out. The process of transformation of the IDBI has already started. Government will take it forward and also consider the option of reducing its stake below 50%. For speedier resolution of stress assets, the Debt Recovery Tribunal will be strengthened with focus on empowering the existing infrastructure, including computerized processing of court cases to support reduction in the number of hearings and faster disposal of cases. The Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana was launched for the benefit of the bottom pyramid of entrepreneurs. Banks and NBFCs, MFIs have reported the amount sanctioned under the PMMY has reached about rupees 1 lakh crore to cover 2.5 crores borrowers by early February this year. For the coming year, Madam, I propose to increase the target next year to rupees 1,80,000 crores. To provide better access to the financial system services, especially in rural areas, we will undertake a massive nationwide rollout of ATMs, micro ATMs in post offices over the next 3 years. Public shareholding in government-oriented companies, it means to ensure higher levels of transparency and accountability. To promote this objective, the general insurance companies owned by the government will be listed in stock exchanges. Government and the ease of doing business. Our government is giving an unparalleled emphasis to the good governance with special focus on process reforms. IT-enabled government processes. The whole idea is to remove irritants from public in their interface with government agencies. A task force has been constituted for rationalizing the human resource.
3 major water plants have been shut down in Delhi, this time due to high ammonia levels. Major crisis in central and north Delhi. Aam Aadmi Party Minister Kapil Mishra is saying that the
पैसे वाले बाबू मेरा बजट बना दो, पैसे वाले बाबू मेरा बजट बना दो, बजट बना दो, बजट बना दो, पैसे वाले मेरा